What's up, y'all? Dr. Charles here, and in this video, I'm going to break down the #1 supplement recommended by Andrew Huberman. So just for context, I recently spoke at an event called Eudaimonia. Eudaimonia was the latest biohacking conference developed and was launched in West Palm Beach, Florida. There were people like Brian Johnson, Mark Hyman, Dave Asprey, and even Andrew Huberman alongside sharing some very insightful things. In the next few video series, I'm going to break down exactly what I learned at Eudaimonia, including something that hasn't been released yet at all, which is Andrew Huberman's supplement stack and really the top 3 supplements that he recommends. And so let's jump right into this, and then we can hear from Andrew Huberman himself on one of them.
There is a set of actions that we can take in order to limit inflammation. And this has been shown in several quality peer-reviewed studies now to reduce inflammation and to relieve some, and in some cases all of the symptoms of major depression. One of those approaches is to increase our intake of so-called EPAs, or essential fatty acids.
So the first supplement here is EPA. EPA is a type of omega-3 fatty acid that has a number of potential benefits. The #1 benefit that we're going to talk about here actually has nothing to do with the traditional benefits that you see from omega-3 fatty acids. So just for some context here, you can actually reduce your cardiovascular risk. You can help your cells, as omega-3s and fatty acids in general can help form those lipid membranes, which is the outside of your cells. It's also been known to help with the health of fetal development, metabolic health, the health of the retina, or the eye, or even, which is usually overlooked, the anti-inflammatory properties of EPA. But there's something totally different, and another reason why Andrew likes this EPA supplement. EPA actually has the ability to help you with depression. So how does it do that? And so to do this, I figured who better to hear from than Andrew Huberman himself to talk to you about why he likes EPA.
So how would this work? Well, it turns out that these inflammatory cytokines, they impact neurons and the circuits of the brain that relate to things like serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine. These inflammatory cytokines act in a variety of different ways, but they mainly act to inhibit the release of serotonin, norepinephrine, and dopamine, or the synthesis of serotonin, norepinephrine, and dopamine. And I'll give you one example of how EPAs can positively impact this process, and then it points to a second tool, which is the proper utilization of exercise to offset the effects of depression. So now you should understand why having healthy levels of serotonin is important for maintaining healthy mood. It's not responsible for all the aspects of having a healthy mood. There's also dopamine and norepinephrine, but it is a very important one. Dopamine, also called 5-HT, essentially derives from a precursor called tryptophan. Tryptophan arrives into our system through our diet. Okay, tryptophan is an amino acid. Tryptophan is found in turkey. It's found in carbohydrates. And that should therefore raise the idea, I wonder if one of the reasons why people who are depressed have such an appetite for carbohydrate-laden foods is because they're trying to get more tryptophan and therefore more serotonin. And indeed, that's the case. Tryptophan is eventually converted into serotonin. However, if there's excessive amounts of inflammation, these inflammatory cytokines cause tryptophan to not be converted so much into serotonin, but to be diverted down a different pathway. The pathway involves something called IDO, idolamine, which converts tryptophan into kynurenine, okay? Kynurenine actually acts as a neurotoxin by way of converting into something called quinolinic acid, okay? And quinolinic acid is pro-depressive.
So to summarize this, EPA may work because it has the ability to divert a certain metabolite in your brain to serotonin, which some have even called the molecule of enlightenment. The more serotonin you have, likely the more positive mood you tend to be in. And if you use the other metabolite or the other pathway, it actually can become a neurotoxin and have counterproductive effects and maybe even depression. And I think he's suggesting here this metabolite really could cause depression, and that just the simple supplementation may be the key route to help avoid this and boost these serotonin levels. So very interesting here. Stay tuned for more updates. If you'd like to learn more in the series of what we learned at Eudaimonia and these secret supplement stacks, Keep listening for more information. You can click the video summary on the screen as well, or if you'd like to speak with one of our specialists, click the link down below and we'll be happy to give you a consultation completely free. So click the link below and we'll see you soon.